Welcome everyone. My name is Brendan Comerford. It's great to have you all here today. My apologies I can't be there in person with you. I'd love to, but I'm visiting my wife's family in Europe, in Romania, and we're travelling through, having a bit of fun as well. So we'll be back in Australia very soon. But I can hear you all. I just can't see you all at the moment. So I'll be able to ask questions, but I won't be able to see your face, so apologies for that. But before we get into it, I just wanted to thank our Google presenters for today, Duncan and Lucinda, for their presentation. I hope you enjoyed it all. I'll be covering a little bit different information today. I'll dive into a bit more depth in relation to digital strategy. And I really want to leave you all with some valuable and usable information that you can go ahead and implement after today and actually see some results. Now, just a brief bio on my career. I've been in this industry now for a bit over 11 years. Worked for a number of agencies, both in production and as a GM. Before that, I was a stockbroker and analyst. Don't hold that against me, but I worked with a business partner. We started a small brokerage firm and consulting service for our trading clients. We sold that business about 11 years ago and then kind of transitioned into digital marketing after realizing how evil and greedy the stock market or the industry can be. And it really wasn't something that I was passionate about. So Kick Media was born around 4 years ago. And it was basically founded on a passion to implement marketing that I know worked and could help a lot of businesses. So I worked for a few agencies, and one was a large media agency, and you don't always get to apply what is best for the client. There are a lot of agencies that still charge clients based on a percentage of spend or Google spend, which to me is a bit of a conflict of interest for the client. So it was quite common that I would get in trouble for underspending a client's budget, even though I often doubled their inquiries with less money. So, I was achieving ROI goals, but it wasn't in the best interest of the client, and more so for the agency. So that was very frustrating for me. So now we get to help businesses and only apply techniques that we know will work. So, it's certainly something that we're passionate about. And you can't be passionate about something that that isn't working. So we get a kick out of working with small businesses and really seeing them get some good results. So let's talk about that and discuss what does and doesn't work for digital marketing. Okay, now I apologise in advance, and I warn you, I do have a lot of memes in this presentation, and it's almost a bit of a daily routine in our Skype chat in the office. Now let me ask a question to the room. How many really effective advertising strategies are there now for small businesses? Well, you probably count them all on one hand. There's not many. So let's have a look at what the options are for advertising for small businesses. So let's have a look. So we've got SEO, Google and Bing. Everyone's obviously familiar with SEO, I'm assuming, so search engine optimization. SEM, which stands for search engine marketing. A lot of terminologies are, I don't know why we have so many. So that's obviously Google, Bing, and YouTube paid ads. SMM, which is social media marketing, which is social paid ads on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can also do Twitter. They've got Twitter ads now. I actually don't know how effective they are, so if anyone has done it before, please share the results with me. I'm actually really curious to find out. It hasn't been that long. I don't think that they've allowed it. I can't imagine it being that great a tool for advertising, but we'll see. EDM, which is electronic direct mail, which is email, drip feed, and newsletters. And social. So a little bit different to SMM. Social is not the paid side of it, but obviously posting, joining groups, and interacting with those groups and the feeds as well. Now let's start with Bing versus Google. Now Bing is growing, but it is still not going to give you the volume of traffic. And we also find that it just doesn't provide the level of motivated buyers that Google can. We find that we get a lot more conversions with Google. Bing is more of we find it's a bit more research focused than it is a consumer focused search engine at the moment. So for both SEO and SEM, Google is still the winner, but I am definitely rooting for Bing. I'm hoping that it becomes quite popular and gives Google a run for their money. Facebook ads can also be effective, but it only works for certain industries. And it can be very hit and miss. I don't know if anyone in the room has tried a lot of Facebook advertising. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Really depends on the industry. Okay. Remember that Facebook is it's not a search engine like Google being on YouTube. You know, it's a different type of buying motivation. It's push marketing, we call it, and we'll discuss that soon. And the same applies for LinkedIn, but it just doesn't work that well for a lot of industries. Now, some of you are probably saying, why not social? You know, I post on Facebook a few times a day. Well, look, I want to clarify that because, you know, we do it as well, and it is very important, but it's more of a nurturing strategy. In fact, let me ask the room, how many business owners in the room generate brand new leads on a regular basis from posting on their Facebook page each day? Is there anyone that, I can't see any hands, but if anyone can yell out. My experience is that social media posting and management, they're more nurturing strategies. There are some obviously different techniques and tactics out there, but if you're a local plumber, if you're a lawyer, real estate agent, you know, social media, you know, again, it's great for nurturing your existing leads and clients that you have an existing relationship with, or even a massive brand presence. But unfortunately, social media posting will not generate brand new regular leads, and that's just our experience. And we've actually had a lot of tracking in place to prove that in the past as well. EDM, so email drip feeds, just to clarify that, it's not a lead generation strategy as such, unless you're doing a lot of spam, but again, it's another nurturing strategy, so incredibly important in terms of nurturing leads and converting existing leads into sales. Now, once you have chosen, I guess, which methods you want to implement, there is a bit of a journey that I think each business needs to take to learn, I guess, just enough within each strategy so that you can steer the ship. You know, you don't need to build the boat or fix the engine. Okay, you just need to know what direction to steer it in. But to do that, you need to learn enough so you can make some good decisions, and that's a real challenge that we find with many business owners. They just don't have enough education. They've got an idea of it, but they don't have enough education to know what decisions to make in terms of strategy. So this is what we want to share with you and help business owners with, is a lot of that directional education with digital. So, you know, don't let your digital agency choose or control what you should advertise. Yeah, you know your products and services better than anyone. You know what your customers want. You know what products they like the most, which products that are more profitable and even suitable to upsell and cross-sell. It's unlikely that your Google AdWords or SEO manager is going to know all of this better than you. So yes, it's important to delegate and outsource to experts, but as a business owner, you do need to be involved in your marketing. You know, working with any digital agency is a partnership, and you know, not something that you just palm off, like you can see in the meme there. You just palm off and say, hey, get me some results. You know, it doesn't work that way. Even if you set KPIs, briefs, objectives, you still need to be involved. And the most important thing you can do to be involved is keyword selection. So if we're talking about SEO and AdWords, you know, selecting the right keywords is the entire basis of effective targeting. And you shouldn't give full control of this to any digital agency. You need to get involved. So to steer your ship in a profitable direction, you need to understand the big picture and begin learning the concepts and strategies that will work. So today I want to introduce 4 major principles that I think every business owner must be guided by when working with a digital agency. And if you step back and really understand the tactics possible within each of these 4 principles, you can build a very effective marketing machine that will just kind of pump out new customers. You know, it's a system that just keeps bringing new customers. So you need to get that blueprint right. So that's how we can work with you to understand those concepts. So here are the 4 principles of marketing that every business needs to get right. You know, to start with, target better quality traffic, convert more traffic into leads, convert more leads into sales, and then track where leads and sales come from. Sounds like a very logical process and quite simple, but obviously there's a lot of tactics within each one. And these apply to every single digital marketing strategy that you could possibly think of. It even applies to a lot of the offline marketing strategies that you could implement. So if you can master these 4 areas, tell you what, you're going to completely transform your business. Now, today we're only going to focus on the first one, target better quality traffic, because obviously we don't have 5 hours. But if you do visit our website and go to our vlogs, I've actually created a separate video for each one of these categories. And you can also read more with each of the links on our homepage if you wanted to read instead of watch a video. But the video blogs go into a lot more depth with each one. So let's run through how we can, or how you can create your own targeting strategy for your business. But to do that, you first need to know who are your most motivated customers, what words or terminologies do they use and don't use. So like I said, being involved in the keyword selection process is a great place for any business owner to start building their education in digital. Very, very fundamental skill in digital marketing for any business. Okay, so step one is segment a list of your most sold products or services, and then list a list of your most profitable products or services, and your third list with your least profitable products or services sold. Now, as a side note, you'd be surprised after doing this activity, and we do this with a lot of clients, actually all of our clients, you know, how many business owners have their most sold product or service also in their list of least profitable products or services list. Now, it shouldn't be that way around, should it? Interesting, but that's another coaching opportunity for another time. But we do run through that process with our clients. Once you have that list, we need to then break your list down into keywords that people would use to find those products and services on Google. In other words, your keyword list. And we then segment that list into high volume keywords searched, most profitable keywords searched, and least profitable keywords searched. Now, to come up with your list, we start with common sense. But when you run out of that, and we all do, you then jump into your Google AdWords account, okay? And you go to Tools in the top menu and use the Keyword Planner to get more keyword ideas. It'll also tell you which keywords have the highest volume. So it allows you to get the answer to all of those three the lists that you want to create. It's super easy to do, by the way, and even very easy to figure out how to use the keyword planner in Google AdWords. So I won't go through that today. In fact, I actually will be doing a blog on that soon, which shows you not just the keyword planner, but how to use a number of research platforms as a really valuable business intelligence for your business and making important decisions. There's a lot that you can use. So I'll be doing a blog on that over the next few weeks. Okay, now I couldn't have a presentation of with memes without having a baby meme, so excuse that, and I think everyone has at least one baby meme in a presentation. Now, one of your final keyword list of categories, final keyword list is to categorize your products and services according to high volume, obviously high profit and low profit. But again, once you've done that, we now need to then break it down one more time into different levels of motivation. Okay. Now there are 4 phases of buyer motivation that we need to understand before we can do this. So let's go through them all now. Actually, before we do that, can everyone start to realize now how this could be quite difficult for an SEO or AdWords manager if you have, especially if you have a lot of products and services? You know, they can't possibly know how to segment all of your products or services in this way unless they've actually work in your business. So I'll give you an example. We have a client who sells floristry supplies. So they sell to all the florists and you know, event managers around Brisbane and Queensland, and they have thousands of products. So we ended up actually spending a few hours walking through their warehouse with the business owner, categorizing each product using this process according to volume, profit, and motivation levels. And you know what, we're still learning about their seasonality. You've got Anzac Day, you've got Mother's Day, you've got Valentine's Day, you've got Christmas, you've got so many different seasons that we need to factor in with different terminologies on different products used throughout the year. So there's a lot to learn for us. And we're lucky that we have such a great client and he's willing to spend the time with us to get to know all his products. And the more we learn about his products, the better the results just keep getting. we're still hitting, record conversion levels month on month, and it's been quite an amazing success story. So it's on track to getting some really massive growth for their business. So it's a long-term partnership that we have, and to help kind of grow his business over time. Now, the biggest challenge for you is finding an agency that you can partner with long-term, because what doesn't work is switching agencies every 3 to 6 months. You just end up you never end up getting an expert that knows your business, and you just won't achieve profit results because it takes time. It takes time to know your business inside and out and build that performance. Yeah, you need to be able to learn how to recognize a person or an agency that you can trust who's going to be there to guide you for long-term growth. Okay. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but again, very important for the advice that I give to all business owners. Okay, so these are the 4 phases of buyer motivation, and these are incredibly important. I mean, it sounds like a lot of theory and a bit boring, but again, if you can really get into this, you can make some really important decisions on your fundamental marketing strategy, which is, who do we target? And the answer is obviously motivated buyers. So phase 1, you can see the target is a bit bigger, so this is where we want to spend most of our money, and this is traffic currently shopping to buy your product or service right now. They know what they want and are ready to make a decision. Okay, so they're the ones that are they're ready to spend money right now. Phase 2, traffic currently researching to buy your product or service at some point in the near or distant future. Could be a few days, few weeks, months, depending on your industry. And again, another industry we still spend money on, but not as much. Phase 3, people who are the correct target audience and are not currently shopping or researching to buy your product or service, but may do in the future. Again, we do spend money on that, but again, less money. And phase 4, now we want to avoid this entirely. People currently researching information about your product, service or industry with no motivation to purchase your product. Usually it's for a report or just general research. We don't want to spend money on that, and I'll talk about each phase to, I guess, clarify the strategies for targeting on each one. Now, what advertising tools are best suited to phase 1 targeting? So SEO, Google Ads, and Bing, I guess, as well. But more so SEO and just Google Ads are the main ones. And what keywords would represent phase 1 if your business was selling digital cameras? We'll use that as the example keyword for today. If you wanted to have a chat to us afterwards, we can go through this and actually tailor it to your business as well. Okay, so we have, let's go through the keywords. So highly targeted decision-based keywords. Okay, and there's 4 phases of the buying cycle. So the first one obviously is decision keywords that we want to target. So we've got Canon digital cameras Brisbane. So, I mean, what do you notice about this keyword list? What is something that's interesting? Well, first we've got some location keywords, Brisbane, but we also have the make and model of a lot of the cameras. So, these are keywords that indicate people know exactly what they want. So Canon, they know the brand, and they type in Brisbane. Now, location keywords are amazing. If anyone ever types in a location, there's no other reason for that other than they're ready to take action. They want to know where you are because they want to go and get you or buy it from you. And we have also long tail keywords, so brand and also make. So SLR 5000, that's the type of Nikon. So they know the brand, they know the make, and they obviously online, so they're ready to buy. So if someone types in Samsung NX500, I actually have that camera, great camera, and they type in the word best price, obviously they're pretty motivated, they're looking to buy. Digital camera stores Brisbane. Now this one's interesting. They obviously don't know what make or model they want because they've typed in digital camera, but the fact that they're looking for a store and it's in Brisbane and they physically want to go to the store, now that's probably more motivated than anything. They're ready to buy something. Ted's Camera Brisbane. We know Ted's is a pretty major brand for digital cameras. So why would anyone be able to use that keyword? Yes, obviously Ted himself should use that keyword, but you can do brand poaching. It's quite, now you can't have those keywords in your ad, but you can certainly have your ads appear when someone types in that to Google, and it's a great technique. If you're running your Google ads right now and you are not targeting your competitors, using their brand names, you're crazy. You need to do it. It's fair game. Okay. Now, ideally, you want to use the keywords that have search volume. So I guess make a list of all your top competitors who are big brands, the ones that advertise on TV, and they're well-known brands. You'll find there's a lot of search volume for that. And TED, there actually is. There's a lot of people typing that into Google. So you want to be able to poach your brands as well. And it's motivated. If someone's typing in a brand, it's probably the most motivated keyword you can have in terms of phase 1 targeting is someone typing in a brand name. They're ready to make a decision. Okay. And Sony Digital Zoom, again, this one is, they don't know what type of Sony camera they want, but they know they want a 2000 zoom. Yeah. So again, you need to get into the psychology of keywords and the motivation behind them. Okay. So how can you take advantage of SEO now that you have your phase 1 targeting keywords? Well, you can now guide your SEO company to focus their efforts around these keywords to be used when optimizing your site, to create new pages, optimize existing pages around these keywords, blog topics using these keywords, writing content marketing articles, SEO link building article topics, and deciding which keyword themed pages of your site to link them to. Okay, but again, to steer your ship with SEO as a business owner, you also need to learn what is good and bad SEO. I'm not going to talk a lot about SEO today, but I can't emphasize that enough. SEO, I've been in this game a while now, and SEO is an industry that has attracted a lot of clever marketing sharks who just want to make money. And they play on the fact that business owners, they don't understand SEO. So be careful, get educated, okay? We'll be doing a series actually of SEO education video blogs over the next few weeks and months, just for business owners so they can learn enough SEO to make good decisions. You don't need to obviously be able to implement it or understand how the engine works, but just be able to understand the SEO concepts and strategies so you can guide your SEO agency and know if they're doing a good or bad job. Actually, is there anyone here, I know I can't see you, but is there anyone here that's actually been burned by an SEO agency in the past? If you have, go and have a chat to the guys and tell them your experience, find out what happened, what were they doing, and we can certainly get you on track to asking the right questions so it doesn't happen again, okay? All right. Phase 2, so traffic currently researching to buy your product or service at some point in the near or distant future. This could be a few days, weeks or months depending on your industry. But before we go any further, I just want to check that everyone can still hear me okay because I can't see you. So can I just get a sound check please before we continue? Yeah. Oh good, okay, cool. It's kind of weird, it feels like I'm talking to myself. Now Google Ads and SEO are still the most effective methods for targeting, but on its own it really is not effective unless you implement a few other tactics to support it. Okay, so obviously we've got GDN remarketing, which is Google Display Network, email marketing, conversion optimizing your website, and also Facebook retargeting, which is the same as remarketing but on Facebook. And there's also YouTube remarketing as well. Now we refer to these as post-visit targeting strategies. And when you're advertising to traffic that hasn't entirely made up their mind exactly on what they want, this is crucial. You need a way to recapture this traffic that is still motivated but not yet decided on what they want. Okay. Now I'm assuming everyone understands what remarketing is. I think Duncan covered that. Can everyone just say yes, I understand remarketing?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, we know that it's basically being followed around the internet based on pages you visited. Sounds a bit creepy, but very, very effective if done well. Okay, and why do we need to optimize your website to convert more leads? Well, if someone isn't quite decided on what they want, if we can use compelling offers that help them in the decision-making journey by giving them instant value, we can get their email address. We can then start nurturing those leads with a sequence of drip feed emails to build trust, educate, influence, and combined with remarketing on Google, Facebook, and even YouTube, you can make sure that when they are ready to make a decision, it's not your competitors that they turn to, okay? You're the one who's top of mind in their awareness, okay, when they're ready to make a decision and search again. So the goal is to be either memorable or familiar when they are ready to buy. Even if it's just familiar, you'll find that next time they then search on Google, you'll get a much higher click-through to your site compared to your competitors because you're familiar, and it's building trust along the way. When you're doing remarketing, you're sending emails, you're building trust, you're educating, and you're lowering the barriers to fear of making it a purchase decision. So you have to do retargeting methods. You've got to do retargeting, remarketing, email marketing, conversion, all the post-targeting methods you have to do, in my opinion. Very important, especially with phase 2 and phase 3, which we'll talk about now. Now, what are the keywords first? In phase 2, so digital camera reviews, best digital cameras, best brand digital cameras. So again, these keywords have actually quite a lot of traffic, but probably more so than phase 1, but they don't know what they want. They're not committed, motivated buyers just yet. They're still in that comparative phase of making a decision. So again, another reason why we need to do the post-visit targeting methods to capture them when they are ready to go to phase 1 keywords. Okay, and this whole process can happen over a few minutes. They type in best digital cameras, Canon digital cameras, and then 10 minutes later they've decided, okay, I want a Canon SLR 5000. So the next search they do is Canon SLR 5000. Okay, so this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 happens in moments, happens in seconds. Sometimes it can happen over days as well, or weeks. Okay, so we need to factor in, obviously, the psychology of these keywords and what they mean in terms of motivation. Phase 3, now targeting these audiences can be, now just repeat what that is, and people who are the correct target audience, but they're not currently shopping or researching to buy your product or service, but they may do in the future. An example of that might be, actually we have a driving school, and obviously children or teenagers around the age of 15, 16, 17, 18, we know who they are. We know the audience. We know what they're interested in. We know what they're interested in, the latest music, the latest young type stuff. So we don't know who they are, but we know their behaviours. So to be able to implement the strategy, we need to know what are they likely researching, what else are they likely interested in, what lifestyles do they lead, how do they consume information at different times of the day. We know that teenagers are more likely to be on their mobile phone than a laptop. Okay. So things like that. What age, gender, consumer behaviour are they likely to have? What other products and services are they likely to buy? Okay. So as you can see here, in the case of digital cameras, we call these highly targeted consideration keywords. So they're considering, obviously, your product based on the fact that they are interested in what you do, but they're not necessarily ready to buy. So photography classes, courses, travel photography, learn photography. Why travel photography? Most people who are obviously planning to travel or are going to be researching how to take photos when they're traveling. You can even have travel insurance, but that'd cost a fortune, and it's too competitive. But it is an example of people that are generally about to travel are about to also potentially go and buy a digital camera. So again, it's identifying the audiences. Learn photography, techniques, books, how to manually zoom. So these are all consideration keywords, and I certainly wouldn't be spending money on these keywords using Google AdWords. Remember that this type of audience is not a motivated buyer now, but could be in the future. So paying per click with Google is really not a viable option. If you have a very large marketing budget and your goal is branding, then yeah, Google Ads are fine. Actually, in an agency I used to work for, we were part of a team, and I was more consulting, but the team that actually did the production, they worked on the Telstra account, and the main goal was traffic. It didn't matter so much where it came from as long as it was cheap. For Telstra, everyone is a target audience, and at some point in the future, Telstra knows that you will eventually need to buy or purchase a product that they have available, so and that they can sell to you. So if you have a $20 million Google marketing budget, then go for it. But if you're a small business, don't use AdWords with this targeting audience. You'll just blow your money. So the most effective method here is SEO. And I don't mean through an SEO agency, unless you don't have the time. I'm actually also talking about SEO for your top keywords, by the way, not your long tail ones, not your phase one keywords. That you definitely need an SEO agency. I'm talking about SEO organic traffic related to all the long tail specific research questions that people ask. For example, what are the top 10 features to consider when buying a digital camera? Yes, that can be a keyword. Now that keyword in SEO, optimized within SEO, could end up ranking for someone typing in top features for digital cameras, when they search on Google. So now these will be easier to rank for, okay? These long tail keywords. However, they won't have as much traffic volume. Okay, there'll be lower levels of traffic for each keyword. So the key then is to create lots of research questions, like these. And you can end up ranking for hundreds or thousands of different questions searched on Google. So how do you do this? Write blogs and pages of content for your site, lots of it, okay? And learn just enough so that you can post them yourself, with SEO in mind. It's actually very easy to learn how to post blogs and create pages on WordPress. If anyone here has WordPress sites, I can teach someone in literally 5 minutes how to upload a blog or create a page and optimize it. It's really easy if you've got the time. Actually, I may even do a blog on that in the near future. So this is something, guys, that you can do yourself. You don't need an SEO agency. This phase targeting, you don't need an SEO agency to do. You just need to learn a few things to create a blog and make sure that it's optimized for Google. However, who has the time and the patience to write loads and loads of content? It's one of the bugbears that I know that most business owners don't have time. They know they have to do it, but they don't have time. So look, that's where we can help. We have a team of 11 full-time writers ranging from premium level, intermediate and standard writers, depending on what the content is for and how much you want to spend. For blogs and for content on your website, you really want to stay with a premium writer, of course, and also maybe intermediate writers. Standard writers are for SEO articles that won't actually appear on your website. The content doesn't need to be, a Nobel Award prize for writing or whatever it is. So you also still need to be careful not to overdo it by keyword stuffing and over-optimizing too many keywords. So actually talk to us before doing this, because you can actually get penalized by Google if you don't follow a few simple guidelines when you do post content to your site. So use pre-targeting with SEO for on-site targets, all the blogs and content for building traffic from these audiences. Don't use Google AdWords, okay? But you will need to use the post-targeting tactics to nurture traffic, convert traffic into leads, build your awareness, your brand awareness, obviously trust and interest over time. So your remarketing and email marketing, that's incredibly important with this phase as well. Okay. Phase 4. Now, this is the type of motivation that we want to avoid completely. Any money spent in this phase is dead money that has been wasted, and I often like to say donated to Google. Google has a donation fund, and there's a lot of businesses in this fund, I tell you. If a student is doing a final thesis on something related to your industry, or someone is researching for do-it-yourself information, or is preparing research for something or other, or even if they're searching for a similar product that you don't sell, you don't want to pay for this traffic. And you don't want to optimize for it either. There are all sorts of reasons why people click on ads that have no intention of ever purchasing. So how do we avoid these people? Okay, so step 1 is avoid broad match type targeting in Google Ads. So every keyword in your Google AdWords account has the ability to select a match type, which is an instruction to Google on how to display my ads. So your keyword list is not what people actually type into Google. You still need to give Google some instruction on how to display it. Broad match is the ultimate flexibility to basically say, hey Google, write the check, display my ads for anything similar or related to this. It's the easiest way to waste money, and again, it adds to Google's donation fund very, very quickly. Step 2, create a lot of negative keywords. So these are keywords that you don't want to appear for, okay? And I'll actually be doing a video blog soon on a really valuable exercise that every business owner can do to assist the digital manager with assisting with negatives. Again, a business owner knows their products and services much better than we can. And you know the tire kickers. You know that you get people calling up and asking for this and this and that. And that's a great way to start building a negative keyword list. We don't want to appear for someone asking things that are not relevant to your business. Okay. And step 3, track which keywords result in a valuable action on your site. Now, avoiding all of these possible keywords which could be irrelevant can be difficult. No one has a crystal ball to predict all the crazy stuff that people will search on Google. To avoid the wrong traffic even further, you may need to tighten up your targeting strategy by spending money only on keywords that result in a valuable action taken on your site. Okay? But you can't do that until you know what are the valuable website actions. Okay, so let's talk about that. Before we do though, have a look on the right side. And you can do this yourself, with your major keywords for your industry. Just go to Google, type in the first word or the first and second word of a keyword phrase, and just see the Google's predictive answers that come up, and it helps you to get an idea of what you don't want to target. For example, Sony digital. I was about to type in cameras there, but then I realized that hey, if I was broad matched with my keywords, Google could also show me for digital or display my ad for someone searching digital Sony digital radios, Sony digital paper, photo frames. And again, you can see the list there, Samsung digital, door locks, camera is relevant, but signage, photo frames, Samsung camera, we've got, you don't want a phone, you're looking for a digital camera, so you've got to be careful what you're using here, because obviously someone's going to be talking about a phone, not a digital camera there. And the last one, people researching. So this is someone who probably works for a marketing agency or an advertising agency and needs to do a marketing plan for digital cameras. Something totally irrelevant to your business as a business that sells digital cameras. So again, examples of an exercise there that you can implement. So let's talk about that. Talk about valuable site actions. So the last one, track which keywords result in valuable actions on the site. You need to know, what are the valuable actions. So question, is your advertising profitable? What conversion tracking do you have in place? So let's have a look at that. What are your valuable site actions? We use tracking technology to measure which keywords and traffic sources result in valuable site actions. And there's two main ones. So when we're assessing the performance of your marketing campaign, it's not the volume of clicks or site visits. It's not the cost per click, it's not your average positions, it's not even your total spend that really matters. As a business owner, all that should matter is what are your valuable site actions? How many were there and what was the cost of each action? So the first one is ROI and revenue. Now these actions are your most valuable and can be used to estimate your ROI, which is profit, okay, and your revenue, which is your sales volume. Yep. Now most of our clients know that 1 in 4, 1 in 5 inquiries will result in a certain amount of revenue over time. So with that knowledge, we can help you to work out your approximate ROI of advertising. Now, the bottom one, engagement, is not really directly related to an inquiry type. So they're not used to work out your ROI or your revenue from advertising. They are used to optimize keywords and traffic that is highly likely to result in an inquiry. So these are, time on site, bounce rates, page views, play buttons, PDFs, email links. We can track it all through to your AdWords account. It's quite powerful information. Now, in the case of Google AdWords, sometimes it takes time for the low volume keywords to eventually show their true performance. Now, if you have a large list of low volume keywords that individually don't provide a lot of clicks or traffic, but combined can produce a high amount of traffic and inquiries, it can still be very profitable. However, it is difficult to know early on which of those low volume keywords will have the potential to eventually convert. I hope that makes sense. So we use engagement metrics to filter in the low volume keywords that have the combined potential for high profit and sales revenue. And 90% of the time, we are correct in our predictions here. You know, we are basically gathering the engagement data quicker than we are able to gather the ROI conversion data. So we can forecast with a high probability which traffic, which keywords are likely to convert before they do. So you can kind of call us weather people, weatherman or weather persons. I don't know what the technical correct answer is there, but we, you know, instead of forecasting rain, we are forecasting, you know, where the inquiries are likely to occur, and we do it really well. Okay. Engagement data, incredibly important when optimizing for low volume keywords that may eventually convert, but having a lot of those low volume keywords combined. So again, the only two important metrics for business owners, cost per converted click and converted clicks. So when I say converted click, it means conversion. It's the single terminology for a single conversion, and it can be broken down into different types of converted clicks. So you can have obviously your live chat, phone call. Yes, we can track phone calls. We'll get into that in a second, but this is the most important data. So this is the ROI. So not engagement data. This is the ROI data. Now again, it's not e-commerce, so you still need to kind of work out 1 in 4 inquiries results in X amount of average revenue, so you need to kind of reverse engineer that. But once you do, you can start to use this data to say, hey, my AdWords is working. So here's some examples. You know, we've got Thermoline, and you can see the date ranges here. You know, we decreased the cost per inquiry or converted click by 44%, and this is before and after, so before we took over and after. Converted clicks, which is the volume of inquiries, increased by 290. Dogmasters, trainers, they sell a lot of, this is e-commerce as well, but they sell a lot of dog training collars. We decreased their cost per inquiry by 27%, increased their inquiry volume by 39%. GT cases decreased their cost per inquiry by 62%, increased the volume of inquiries by 267, and Orotech, we lowered their cost per inquiry by 81%, massive, and increased their volume of conversions by a whopping 636. Now, obviously we don't achieve this with all clients, but we do get generally anywhere, it's pretty typical to be able to increase by about 30% and decrease cost by about 30%. That's pretty typical with most clients through these methods that I'm talking about today. The rabbit hole does get deeper though. These are conversions all based on the final conversion, so the last action on the website, but we need to understand that people search online in very chaotic patterns, and it's not all conversions, not all the conversions can be attributed to the last valuable action that was taken on the site. You know, there can be what we call search funnels and, you know, multiple keyword searches that take place leading up to a conversion, like we talked about just a bit earlier. But this is an advanced topic we won't go into today. It's maybe a session or a video blog for another time. Okay. Now, keeping up with changing technologies can be challenging for marketers. Our team are constantly monitoring what's coming, new innovations and new marketing technologies. You know, there are no textbooks on digital marketing. You know, it's just changing too fast, and you know, if there were textbooks, we would be the ones writing them basically. So we have to keep our finger on the pulse and ensure that our clients are first to market with the latest tools, latest technologies, and you know, to basically beat the competitors. You know, we need to do that to be able to stay competitive. There's just so many new features with AdWords coming out on a regular basis, as Duncan probably introduced a few of them today. We were one of the first agencies actually to roll out all the new Google call tracking on all of our clients, or most of our clients. We were quick to roll out the latest dynamic remarketing, which we're also going to be one of the first agencies to go to market with some new technologies that I'm going to talk about as well. So we're really quick to roll with a lot of the changes that are coming. So that's exciting for us, but it's also exciting for our clients because we get to implement it. Now, we often use ourselves as the guinea pigs first, or we work with specific clients that are open to that. So we've had there's been some technology, or not technology changes, but in some pretty major innovations that we've implemented with SEO. We've basically reinvented a brand new SEO strategy over the last 12 months, and we've been testing it with a few selected clients. The results have been amazing. We were so surprised at how quick the SEO results were, and it's all future-proofed. So we're going to share that with, actually there's a booklet that you can read. Each of you today should have a booklet there, and it actually goes through the concept of our new SEO strategy, so feel free to have a read of that. Right, now, next topic. So any questions though before we get into the new latest technologies that are coming? Everyone's happy for me to continue? Get a yes in the room? Yep, okay, excellent. Now, can everyone with an Android phone please take it out, and if you swipe down and enter the settings menu, or you should be able to see it in your quick view on the right, you'll notice that at some point you've seen a button called NFC. Has everyone seen that before and wondered what is it? And they've turned it on and nothing happens. They've played around and think, oh, what is this NFC? I have no idea. It doesn't do anything to my phone. Well, this is the next thing that is going to revolutionize mobile marketing and proximity targeting. It's quite spectacular. So I'm going to go through that today and explain what NFC mobile tag marketing is. Now it's relatively new in Australia. It actually hasn't even hit Australia yet. It's still big in the States and in Japan, but it hasn't quite come to Australia yet. Now NFC stands for Near Field Communication, and it is traditionally being used for, and it's been on mobile phones for a few years now, but it's been traditionally used for mobile transactions with POS devices. But now it's becoming very common, like I said, in Japan and America, for mobile marketing using NFC tags. You can see the tag on the left-hand side there. And they're embedded, those tags, into posters and billboards. In fact, you can put it on anything. Now, the NFC tag is basically a small sticker with an RFID chip inside. Now, when your NFC is turned on your phone, it can be used to tap these NFC tags, which can trigger pretty much any type of online action that we want. It's pretty exciting. So one tap can trigger an action on most applications. We can trigger an action to occur on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. There's actually hundreds. Now this is the possibility. It's integrated with quite a lot already, but this is where it's heading. It's the ability to integrate with pretty much most applications. Some of the actions that we can currently track, however, we can simply tap a phone to a tag that can be used anywhere to visit a website. You can trigger, so this is the actions that tapping a tag can actually trigger. Visit a website, send an email, send an SMS, make a phone call. Yes, make a phone call, pretty creepy. Redeem a coupon, that's exciting. Access loyalty and wallet apps. That's not quite big yet in Australia, but it's becoming quite popular, Google Wallet and a lot of online tapping. I know it's starting to really become popular here with a lot of the online apps for the banking apps. Like or share on social media, that's incredibly exciting, and the next step on then how do we use that information. To leave a review, check in a location, enter a contest, and look, there's even more than that. There's a lot of creative applications that it's almost endless in terms of possibility. Now, the one that we're still trying to figure out if it's possible is if you can add to cart. If you can add to cart, that'd be amazing, because then you can go through your retail shop and put NFC stickers on. Instead of having price tags, you can have NFC stickers, and then you can go through the retail shop and go add to cart, tap, 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 go up to the counter with your mobile phone and pay. Yeah, amazing. It's certainly something that we are been researching for a while now, and there are, again, a lot of examples in America and in Japan. It's mostly being used for billboards and bus stops, but again, there are so many more applications that we haven't even thought of yet. Some examples here: people, agencies and overseas are getting creative with it now. They're putting it on, Uncle Toby's are using it for downloading recipes. You can use it for redeeming vouchers. There's a book there. I can't quite figure out what they're doing with that book, but in the middle there, they're putting it on a book. So I'm assuming that's a add to cart, or it's maybe to learn more about the author or something. And then the one on the right is actually a download a ringtone, which is very, very popular in Japan. So how does an NFC tag differ from a QR code? They are quite different. So QR codes, they obviously require an installation of an app. You need to open the app to scan. So if you're ordering your coffee, we know that a lot of coffee shops have QR codes now for reward systems, but who uses that? It's a pain. By the time you order your coffee, you have to go through your phone, and you're in a rush to get your money out to pay, and then you've got to load the app and aim it, position it. It's just a pain. Not many people use QR codes because of that. You need a good camera with a good focus. You need good lighting. If it's nighttime, QR codes are pretty much useless. Even if you find that even if you turn the light on, the reflection actually stops it from working. So not very good at nighttime. And not all QR codes are the same. So there's a few different types. So you need to, sometimes it doesn't work. NF tags, however, is a chip installed. It's Android at the moment. You can scan on the demand, on the fly, as long as your NFC is on. Now, the reason NFC is also really powerful is it doesn't drain your battery like Bluetooth does. So you can leave it on all the time and your battery's not going to get completely drained. It's a very low frequency that it uses. So NFC tags are pretty much what QR codes should have been, okay? So it's exciting. Does it exist on iPhones? The biggest question that we get so far, unfortunately, not yet, okay? Excuse my picture there. The iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus does have NFC installed, but it's not activated for marketing and NFC tags. It's only used for payments at this stage. But we all know how Apple is. They just have to be independent with its technology. So my guess is we can expect NFC tags or what we call iMarketing in the not too distant future. So we'll see what happens. But in terms of market share and application in terms of users on an Android device, it's still a pretty big market for mobile advertising or mobile marketing. If you have an iPhone, unfortunately you're still stuck with QR codes for now. But you can see the market share of Android is massive. It's huge. In fact, you can see the growth. Android continues to trump Apple iPhones and iOS. You can see the growth just continuing. And the growth of NFC devices. So obviously Android is on multiple devices, so that means obviously the growth is exponential from 2.4 million devices in 2011, and now we have $71 billion sold of devices with NFC installed in 2015. So exciting where it's definitely heading. It's definitely the future of mobile advertising. Finally, Kick Media are finally excited about Facebook advertising with this integration of NFC tagging. We are now actually working with a company. We're producing a NFC analytics and management platform. So we're pretty excited about this. It's still in development with Kick Media and a partner agency that we're working with. Soon be launching a platform for managing your NFC likes and shares and using our marketing material. You can see NFC poster templates that you can use, that you can stick your NFC tags in for in-store offers. So anyone who has a retail store, get ready. This is, if you own a cafe, a retail store, look, even if you do a lot of networking face-to-face, you know what, put it on your business card and say, hey, you've got NFC, tap, and instant share or like or email send or any action that we can program, okay? So the platform that we will have not only tracks, you can see it tracks all the Facebook likes and shares and all your analytics data. You can then has the platform that can be, it's an app, it can be used on your phone to then actually program the tags. So these little microchip tags that we order, they're now cheap. 2 years ago, they were too expensive. Now it's because of Japan and in America, these tags are becoming so incredibly cheap. I'm talking less than 30 cents a tag. It's really cheap. And you can order them on eBay even, and you can program these tags to do anything you want. but you need a platform in order to program the tags. So that's the platform that we're going to be working with. And from that platform, you can program your tags to do anything. So, okay, we can then start using, other tools like Facebook to then advertise to your new audience. Instagram, you can use, basically anything that is now an advertising platform. We are now still figuring out, again, the very early stages, how we can maximize this opportunity in terms of advertising a strategy. So right now, we are writing the textbooks on how we can take advantage of this technology, and it's exciting. So early stages, but again, this is the future of what's coming. So get ready, guys. It's already here, and we'll be launching it as a product very soon. Lastly, we'll finish up with this, nearly an hour in. Google Business has arrived, or Google Business View has arrived. Basically, it's Google Business View using Street View technology to let your potential customers explore your inside of your business. So now this application so far has been used mostly for restaurants and showrooms, but again, the applications for this are potentially very large. Currently, it uses a special type of photography that allows only allows you to walk through the aisles of your business or through your showroom and get a virtual reality experience. But soon you will be able to see the integration of what's called pivot points, which will allow you to literally click and add to cart items that you want to buy online. So you're walking through the store, turn to your right, see a product, has a pivot point, click it, add to cart. So now your retail store can be transformed into an e-commerce application. Amazing. It's incredibly exciting. We are currently in talks with a Google trusted photographer to deliver this service. We're actually building a platform now, which also potentially they're working out how to integrate these pivot points into an e-commerce platform. So early stages, this is something that we're not offering yet, but you can start getting the photography done. And we can put you, give us a call, we can put you in touch with a Google trusted photographer. There's not many, there's about 7 in Brisbane. That's how new it is. There's not many approved photographers, and it's very difficult to become approved. So if you are a photographer, any photographers out there, and you want to become a Google trusted photographer, you can also become a Google trusted agency. We're going through that process. We'll soon be a Business View trusted agency. We're going through that at the moment. But if you want to see some examples of it, I found a website in America called viewable360.com. They've done quite a few projects already with this. So if you want to get an example of walking through your business, go to that website and literally just start doing it. You can do it on your phone now if you want. Okay, so now we're excited about that. It's super important that we keep up to date with a lot of these new technologies and implement them. Now, even though we need to keep our finger on the pulse with new marketing technologies, we are really excited about the new possibilities for generating new leads for our clients. Really, that's the purpose. The technology itself is exciting for us, but from a business owner's point of view, we can, as soon as something comes out, we're on it. We will be working with our clients to implement this. So pretty exciting. By the way, can anyone name the commercial of our meme today?
Old Spice.
Yes, that's it. Old Spice. Extra points if you can name the actor. Anyone know what his name is? Is it trivia? Quite shameful that I know this. Isaiah Mustafa is his name. I don't know how I know that. I just remember somehow. But yeah, very, very funny commercial. And now I couldn't finish the presentation without Lionel Richie. So if you would like to book a consultation with one of our digital managers, they'll run through a planning session to develop a custom digital strategy for generating new leads. So look, thanks everyone for listening. We certainly appreciate your time being here. Now, if you want to stick around, I'll be online to answer any questions. Our team is also here to answer any questions and have a chat about your business. Apologies again, I couldn't be there today. It would have been fantastic. But thanks again, and we hope to be working with you soon. Bye for now.